Hey friends, welcome to Totally Drawesome, the art show that teaches you how to draw the coolest stuff in the world. Today, let's learn how to draw Rex and Sushi. Rah.
Welcome to the super cool, mega fun, totally drawesome, super cool, mega fun, totally drawesome, super cool, mega fun, totally drawesome art show.
Hello again, my name is Felix, certified sushi eater. Oh, and also I like to draw sometimes. Today, my special guest is Soupy. Whoa, Soupy, no, Soupy, get off of the camera. No, down, Soupy, no. Okay, like I was saying, my special guest today is Soupy, the soup dumpling. And together, we're gonna teach you how to do today's drawing. Soupy kinda does his own thing, so we'll see how this goes. For today, you'll need a fresh piece of paper, the drawing tool of your choice, and a pair of scissors. You can get a grown-up to help with the scissor part if you need. So today's drawing tutorial has a little bit of an added bonus. Not only are we going to learn how to draw Rex and Sushi, but I'm also gonna teach you how to make it look like Rex is holding different things. As usual, I've got my blank piece of paper and my Sharpie, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to draw is Rex's head. Now Rex's head is a circle with a small portion cut out of it. So to draw it, we're going to find a point on the page. I'm gonna start right about here. And then I'm gonna draw an imaginary line over to about here. And then I'm gonna come up just a little bit, to about there. Now I'm going to draw a big semicircle shape to connect these two dots, just like this. Come up and down, and it's going to connect with that dot, just like this. Now from this dot, I'm going to draw a backward C shape, and the bottom of it is going to end parallel with this dot, just like this. We start here, come out, and we stop right there. Now where these two lines meet, we're going to draw an imaginary line to about the center of this circle, and then we're going to move up just a little bit and draw a dot. Then we're going to draw a horizontal line through that dot, just like this. Now starting on this point right here, we're going to draw a U shape. It's going to come down just like this, and then come up and end on the other side of that line. And in the middle of this shape, we're going to draw a small little arc, just like this. Then we're going to fill in the top portion of this shape. And remember, if at any point you need to pause the video or go back because you need to watch a part again, it's totally okay if you need to. So now let's draw the eyes. From the corner of the mouth, we're going to draw an imaginary line out and then come down just a little bit and draw a dot. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. We start on the corner, we come out just a little bit and then come down. It kind of looks like he's got these small eyes, but he's super happy about it. From the dot we just made, we're going to draw an upside down U shape, just like this. And let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. From the corner of this eye, we're going to draw an imaginary line down, and then we're going to draw a little circle. Boop. And let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. The corner of the eye, an imaginary line, and then a circle. And there's his cheeks. Now we need to draw the spikes on the top of his head. Find the center of the top of the mouth, and then draw an imaginary line up to the top of his head and draw a dot. Boop, just like that. From that dot, we're gonna follow the contour of the head over to the side and draw a dot, about that far away. Now we're going to connect those two dots with an upside down U shape, just like this. Come up, curve, and then come down, just like that. We're gonna make two more spikes along the side of his head. So to do that, we're gonna go from this point, follow the contour of his head, just like this, and draw a dot. And then from that dot, continue to follow his head and draw another dot, just like that. And just like with the first spike, we're going to connect those two dots with a sort of U shape, just like that. And one more time, from this point, we follow the contour down, we draw a dot, follow it down again, and another dot, and then we're going to connect those two lines with one more U shape. So at this point, you should have Rex's head, his spikes, and he should be very, very happy. So Rex's hands are just two ovals that are kind of angled and pointed towards each other. From this point on his head, we're going to move down to about here, we're going to draw a dot. Now we're going to draw an oval where the top of the oval is angled this way. From that dot, we're going to draw a line up just like this, curve, come down just like this, and reconnect with the initial point. So to draw his other hand, we're going to hover over this point of his mouth, and we're going to draw an imaginary line down, and we're going to stop right about here. If you imagine there's a line that comes over from his other hand, that's where this dot is going to be. And from that dot, we're going to draw another oval, but this time it's going to be facing this way. So we start on that dot, and then we draw our oval, just like we did with the other hand, but it's facing the opposite direction. Now to draw the rest of his body, we're going to start on this point here, and draw an imaginary line down to about here. Now when we connect these 2 points, we're not going to do a straight line, we're going to curve this line a little bit. And remember, when we curve this, we want that line to go behind his arm. So if we start here, we start to curve out, we're going to stop, and then on the other side of his arm, continue that line down to about here. And then from the bottom of this line, we're going to draw a soft V shape. It's going to look like this. We're going to come down and then come right back up. And that V shape is one of his feet. So to draw the other foot, we're going to draw an imaginary line out to here. And we're going to draw a dot right about here. Now this dot should be just about in line with this dot here and with this dot here. If it's not perfect, totally okay. So from that dot, we're going to draw another soft V shape, just like this. And then for his tail, we're going to start on this point here and draw an imaginary line that's angled out to about here. Now we're going to connect the end of his head to this dot, but not with a straight line. We're going to swoop and connect, just like this. We start here, swoops down, and then it starts to come up and connects, just like that. Now we just need to connect the tip of his tail to this foot, and we're going to do that with another soft swoop shape, just like this. Then we draw one more soft swoop shape in between these 2 legs, just like this. And then the last thing we need to do is draw the 3 spikes along his back. So we're going to pick a point on his back. I'm going to start right here. And just like with the head, we're going to follow the contour of the back and draw another dot. Then we're going to draw our U shape, same one we used to draw a spike on his head. And just like with these 2 spikes, we're going to do the same thing along his tail. Start at this point, come down, draw a dot, follow the line down again, and draw another dot. We draw our spike shape. And one more spike, we start on the end, come over and draw a dot, and one more dot right about there, and our U shape. Just like that. Now, if you notice, I didn't draw Rex holding Sushi, and that's because we're going to make it look like he's holding him with a separate piece of paper so you can swap out what Rex is holding. So for the things that Rex will be holding, I have a couple scrap pieces of paper that we're going to draw on. But before we do that, the first thing we need to do is cut little slits along his hands so we can slide the different things into his grip. What we're going to do is imagine a straight line that goes through his hand just like this, and another one that goes through this hand just like this. And that width is exactly what we're looking for the things that he's going to be holding. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a scrap piece of paper, just like this. And if you'll notice, that vertical line right here is exactly what we're looking for. So what I'm going to do is on Rex, I'm going to draw a dot right there. And then down here, I'm going to follow the edge of this piece of paper. I'm going to come down and I'm going to draw a dot right there. Then if we take the piece of paper and we just move it down just a little bit, we're going to follow the top edge right about here and draw a dot on the other hand. Then what we can do is use the other edge of our paper and measure it down to where the other dot should be. So when you're done, you should have 4 dots on Rex, on the piece of paper where you drew him. Then you take your scrap piece of paper and you line it up with the dots just like this. And directly on the paper, you're going to draw a line like this. So then we know exactly how wide that's going to be. So now if we draw a straight line down on this piece of paper just like this, we can then draw a line like this to the edge of the paper, and then we're gonna cut that shape out. So if you cut that piece out correctly and you set it down in front of Rex, it should fit right inside of those 4 dots. So there's a dot here, 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 and here. So take that piece of paper and set it aside. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to cut from this dot all the way around his hand to this dot. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now it's important to note, we don't wanna cut the entire hand out. We're just cutting from here to here, and from here to here. This part can be a little bit tricky, so just be very careful. And if you need to grab a grown-up to help, totally okay. And just like that, we should have 2 little flaps underneath his hands that fit the piece that we cut out earlier. So if we take the piece here and we slide it into the top, it should fit in just like that. And that looks cool and all, but we need to make Sushi because we're learning how to draw Rex and Sushi. So let's take that piece out. We're going to set Rex aside. And on this piece, we're going to draw a couple lines. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to, on the very edge of this piece, trace the long edges with our drawing tool. So I got that edge, and then I got this edge right here. Next thing we're going to do is find the top corner, and we're going to come down just a little bit to about here and draw a dot. And directly across from that dot on the other side, we're going to draw another dot. Now we're going to connect these 2 lines with a very soft, subtle swoop shape, just like this. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Start in this corner, draw a dot. This corner, draw a dot. Connect the 2 dots with a swoop shape, just like this. Now pick a side with the swoop shape, whether it's the top or the bottom, doesn't matter. And we're gonna draw another shape just like that, but it's gonna be flipped. Let me show you what I mean. We're gonna start on this dot right here, and then we're going to connect to this dot with a swoop shape that's opposite the other one, just like this. So you should have 2 swoop shapes on the top, 1 on the bottom, and then 2 straight lines on the side. And our next step is just to cut off this extra bit above the swoops. And I really like how dark the lines are on the sides, so I'm going to make the lines darker on the top and the bottom. And of course, we can't draw a sushi roll without the sushi, so right in the middle of this top circle shape, we're going to draw another top little circle shape, just like this. And then we're going to draw a couple dots just to show that there's rice packed inside there, just looking so delicious. It's making me hungry. Now we need to draw Sushi's face. So to do that, we're going to pick a point right inside of this white space. I'm going to draw a little dot just like this. And then I'm going to draw a horizontal line across, an imaginary horizontal line, and draw another dot just like this. And then right in between those 2 dots, not quite connecting, I'm going to draw a very soft smile, just like this. And there he is, Sushi. So now we can take Rex and set him down and take Sushi and slowly slide him into Rex's hug, just like that. Now the cool thing is, once you know the distance between his hands, you can draw other shapes to make it look like Rex is holding other things. So I took my Sushi shape and I traced it onto another piece of paper, and I made a little heart. And that little heart slides in just like this. We can have Sushi hanging out on the edge of the page. And the last thing I'm gonna do is actually take my scissors and cut Rex out of this paper. And then of course, we gotta color him. Okay, how did you all do? If you followed along, which I'm sure you did, you should have your very own drawing of these 2 best friends, Rex and Sushi. Oh, and Rex should have the ability to hold different things that you draw for him. I colored my Rex green and gave him a little star eye patch, and his cheeks are pink. I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. Okay, well, I'm a little scared to check, but let's see how Soupy's doing with his drawing. Yeah, that seems about right. You know what, we'll check in on Soupy again in a little bit to see if he's done any sort of drawing. Until then, you guys should grab some markers, some paint, some crayons, whatever you want, and color your Rex and Sushi. And while you do that, let's jump into an artist highlight. Every now and then, a series comes along that just warms your heart in a very special way. When I first saw the animated series Hilda, I just remember being absolutely glued to my TV. I've since rewatched the series many times and have become a huge fan of the comics that the animated series originated from. Hilda's creator, Luke Pearson, built a fantastic world steeped in different mythologies, all carried by a very lovable cast of creatures and characters. The comic's art style differs from that of the show, but both are perfect in their very own way. For today's artist highlight, I'm going to use a brand new box of crayons to draw the show's main character, Hilda. I don't use crayons nearly as much as I used to, but there's something special that happens in your brain when you pick up a crayon. You can't help but be transported back to when things were just a little simpler and making art was all about which colors hadn't been worn down just yet. If it's been a while since you picked up a crayon, I encourage you to pick up some paper in your favorite color and just let your mind wander for a moment. You know, there really is nothing like a fresh box of crayons. I'm really gonna have to remind myself to use them more because that was a lot of fun. I'm really happy with how my Hilda drawing turned out. I think I might have to put this one on the fridge. What do you guys think? Well, I was gonna say let's check in on Soupy and see how he's doing with his drawing, but it seems like he's a little busy doing that. While we give Soupy a bit more time to finish his drawing, let's make fine art finer. Fine art is a visual art considered to have been created primarily for aesthetic and intellectual purposes and judged for its beauty and meaningfulness. Huh? Okay, look, I get it. Fine art is, well, it's fine. That's why they call it that, right? But you know, I can't help but wonder, can we make fine art finer? I think we can. This is the Mona Lisa, one of the most famous paintings in the world, painted by Leonardo da Vinci during the Italian Renaissance. Now, I'm sure old Leo had the best of intentions while painting Miss Lisa here, but what if he actually meant to make the Robo-Lisa? Robo-Lisa's fine, but I think we can make it finer. Maybe the Monster Lisa. I mean, the Monster Lisa's cool, but what about Chibi Lisa? Aw, she's adorable. Well, that was something. Well, I certainly hope that Mr. Da Vinci doesn't come back and haunt me. Well, I've put this off for as long as I can, mainly because I'm a little scared as to what it is we're gonna see. But here we go. Soupy, did you finish today's drawing? How? Okay, well that's it for me today. Thank you all so much for hanging out and drawing with me. I will see you next time.
Whoa. Flying soup dumplings. Oh, we really are living in the future. So how did everyone do today? I hope you all had fun doing today's drawings. I had a blast getting to look at all the drawings you did from the last episode. You're all just so talented. If you did today's drawings and you want the chance to have it featured in a future episode, check the description for details on how to make that happen. Oh, and be sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss a single episode of the totally Drawesome stuff we have going on here. Thanks everyone for hanging out today. I'll see you next time.